My girlfriend taunted sharply. Oh wow. So now the big man wants to know where I was until 4 a.m. I stayed silent, just staring at her for a moment. Then I said in a cold tone, not anymore. What she didn't know was that I had already seen her location at her ex's house, and a little plan had already been set in motion. The locks had been changed before she even woke up that afternoon. I met Veronica 3 years ago at a rooftop party in downtown Austin. She had this laugh that carried across the entire space, loud and unapologetic. I remember thinking she was magnetic. By month 2, we'd moved in together. Too fast. My sister Kate warned me over coffee one Sunday morning, but I didn't listen. I was 28 and thought I knew everything about love. The first year was incredible. We'd cook together on weeknights, take spontaneous road trips to San Antonio, stay up until 3 a.m. talking about nothing and everything. The second year, small things started chipping away at the foundation. She'd go out with her college friends and come back at 2 a.m. smelling like whiskey and cigarettes. I didn't mind the going out part. I've never been controlling like that, but she'd get weirdly defensive when I asked basic questions like, "How was your night?" "You're not my father, Derek," she'd snap, and I'd drop it because I hated the tension that followed arguments. Then came last Thursday night. I woke up around 3:30 a.m. and reached across the bed. Empty. Cold sheets. I checked my phone. No texts, no missed calls. I pulled up the location sharing app we'd set up months ago when she insisted on it for safety reasons after her friend got stranded downtown. The little blue dot sat squarely on Maple Drive. I knew that address. Her ex-boyfriend Connor lived there in a duplex with his roommate near the university. I sat there in the dark, staring at that dot. It didn't move for 20 minutes. I refreshed twice. Still there. Then I closed the app, plugged my phone in, and went back to sleep. Surprisingly easy, actually. I think I'd been expecting something like this for months, maybe even a year. The relief of confirmation was almost calming. When I woke up at 7, I texted my landlord, Mr. Patel. We'd always had a good relationship since I'd lived there 4 years and never missed rent. I told him I'd lost my keys and needed the locks changed immediately, that I'd pay double for same-day service. He responded within minutes saying he'd have someone there by noon. Then I called Kate. "Do you have any boxes?" I asked. "What happened?" "I'll tell you later. Do you have boxes or not?" "Derek, it's 7 a.m. on a Friday. I know what time it is." She was quiet for a moment. "Yeah, I have boxes. How many do you need?" "As many as you can bring." She showed up 40 minutes later with her Subaru packed with flattened cardboard and packing tape, still in her pajamas with a coat thrown over. We didn't talk much at first. She helped me box up Veronica's clothes from the closet, her bathroom stuff that had taken over 2 entire shelves, her books that she never actually read, the ridiculous collection of scented candles she bought constantly but never burned. We worked methodically, room by room. "You want to tell me what happened?" Kate asked while taping up a box of shoes. "She spent the night at Connor's house." Kate stopped mid-tape. "Her ex Connor?" "That's the one." "You're sure?" I showed her the location. She stared at it, then looked at me. "I'm sorry." "Don't be." "I'm not." The locksmith arrived at 11:45 a.m., a guy named Jimmy who didn't ask questions and had the job done in 45 minutes. New deadbolt, new handle lock, 3 keys. By 12:30 p.m., we had everything stacked neatly in the living room. 22 boxes total, labeled with black marker. Kate stood back, surveying our work. "You're really doing this?" "I really am." "Good. You want me to stay?" "No. I need to do this part alone." She hugged me tight. "Call me after, okay?" "I will." Veronica stumbled in around 2 p.m. wearing last night's black dress and smudged eyeliner. Her heels were in her hand. She froze when she saw the boxes stacked in the living room. "What the hell is this?" I was sitting on the couch with a coffee, still warm. "Your stuff." "Derek, what are you? Where were you last night?" Her face shifted immediately. I watched it happen in real time. Confusion to realization to defensive mode activated. I was at Lindsay's. We were having drinks and I crashed there because I didn't want to drive. "Try again." "Excuse me." I pulled out my phone and opened the location app. Turned the screen toward her. "You were at Connor's house until 4 a.m. The color drained from her face, then rushed back as anger. She actually laughed, this sharp bitter sound. "Oh wow. So now the big man wants to know where I was until 4 a.m. I set my phone down carefully on the coffee table. Looked at her for a long moment. "Not anymore." "What does that mean?" "It means I don't care where you were." I don't care why. I just need you to take your boxes and leave. You're being insane. Nothing happened. Veronica, I don't believe you, and honestly, it doesn't even matter if you're telling the truth. I'm done. She walked to the door then, probably thinking she'd storm out dramatically and come back later when I'd calmed down. She shoved her key in the lock. It didn't turn. She tried again, harder. Nothing. She looked at me with genuine shock. You changed the locks? It's my apartment. My name on the lease. You can't just kick me out. I can actually. You're not on the lease. You never wanted to be, remember? You said it felt too permanent. Well, congratulations. Take your stuff, or I'll have it moved to the curb by tonight. Her eyes welled up. Derek, please. Let me explain. I gave you a chance to explain. You lied. I didn't sleep with him. I didn't ask if you did. She stared at me like she was seeing a stranger. Maybe she was. I'd never been cold with her before, never shut down like this. So that's it. 3 years, and you're just throwing me out. You spent the night at your ex's house and lied about it. Yeah, that's it. She started crying then, real tears, mascara running down her cheeks. I made a mistake. I was drunk and confused, and he was texting me about his dog dying, and I went over to comfort him, and stop. Derek, stop. I don't want the story. I don't want the excuses. I want you to call someone to help you move your boxes. She pulled out her phone with shaking hands and called her friend Lindsay. The same Lindsay she'd supposedly crashed with. I heard Lindsay's voice through the speaker, confused at first, then understanding. Lindsay arrived 30 minutes later in yoga pants and a tank top, took one look at the situation, and started loading boxes without a word. Smart woman. Veronica kept trying to talk to me between trips to Lindsay's car. Can we at least talk about this next week when you've calmed down? No. You're being cruel. I'm being clear. I love you. That one almost got me. Almost. If that were true, you wouldn't have spent the night at Connor's. Lindsay gave me a look on her last trip out, arms full of the candle box. Not hostile, just sad. She really cares about you, you know? Then she shouldn't have spent the night at Connor's. Lindsay nodded slowly, shifting the box in her arms. Fair enough. When the door closed behind them, the apartment felt enormous and quiet. I sat there for maybe an hour, just staring at the wall where we used to have a photo of us from Cabo. I'd taken it down that morning. The nail hole was still visible. Kate called around 5. How'd it go? She's gone. You okay? Yeah. Weirdly okay. That's probably shock. It'll hit you later. Maybe. You want to come over for dinner? Brian's making his lasagna. No. I think I need to just sit with this. Call me if you change your mind. Anytime, Derek. I mean it. I know. Thanks, Kate. Update 1 that weekend. Veronica texted me 47 times. I counted because I had nothing else to do. Most of it was apologies mixed with accusations that contradicted each other. You never trusted me anyway. Then 5 texts later, I should have known you'd overreact. Then, Connor means nothing to me. Followed by, why are you doing this? I responded once on Sunday night. Please stop contacting me. She didn't stop. Monday morning, Connor called me. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. Derek, man, I need to tell you something. I don't want to hear it. Just listen for 1 second. Nothing happened. She showed up drunk at like 1 a.m. crying about your relationship. She passed out on my couch. That's it. I didn't even know she was coming over. Why didn't she just tell me that? Silence on the other end. Exactly, I said. Because even if that's true, and I'm not saying I believe you, she knew how it looked. And she chose to lie instead of just being honest. She's a mess right now, dude. Like really bad. Not my problem anymore, Connor. I hung up and blocked his number. That same week, I ran into Veronica's mother at the grocery store. Patricia had always liked me, said I was the first boyfriend who treated her daughter right. She touched my arm in the produce section while I was testing avocados. Veronica told me what happened. I'm sorry, Derek. Thank you. She's staying with me for now. I think she realizes she made a terrible mistake. I picked up another avocado, squeezed it gently. I hope she figures things out. Is there any chance you two might? No, Patricia. I'm sorry, but no. She nodded, her eyes sad behind her glasses. You're a good man. I hope you know that. You deserve better than what she gave you. That almost broke me, standing there in the produce section with this woman who'd welcomed me into her home for 3 Thanksgivings. Update 2-3 weeks later, I was at a bar downtown with some co-workers celebrating a project completion when I saw Veronica walk in with Connor. They weren't holding hands or anything, but they were together, laughing about something. She saw me immediately. Her face went white. I turned back to my beer. She came over anyway. Of course she did. Derek, this isn't what it looks like. I didn't turn around. Veronica, you can do whatever you want. We're not together. I just don't want you to think. I don't think anything. I don't think about you at all. That was a lie, but it felt good to say. Her sharp intake of breath told me it landed. Connor appeared behind her, looking uncomfortable in a button-down that was too tight. Come on, V. Let's just go. She stared at me for another moment. I could feel her eyes on the side of my face. Then she left. My coworker Jared whistled low. That's her. Yep. Dude, you dodged a bullet. I know. You're better off, man. Trust me. I know that too. 2 months after the breakup, I was doing fine. Better than fine, actually. I'd started running in the mornings before work, picked up my guitar again after 2 years of it collecting dust, went on a few dates through apps that went nowhere but weren't unpleasant. The apartment felt like mine now, not ours. I'd rearranged the furniture, bought new sheets, hung different art. Kate came over one Saturday with Thai food and a six-pack. You seem good, she said, watching me from the couch. I am good. No regrets. I thought about it while opening my beer. Not even one. What do you think would have happened if you tried to work it out? I'd still be wondering every time she went out. I'd still be checking that location app at 3 a.m. That's not a relationship. That's a prison I'd be building for myself. She nodded, stealing a spring roll from my container. You did the right thing. I know. You sound sure. I am sure. For the first time in probably a year, I'm completely sure about something. The last time I heard about Veronica was 4 months post-breakup. A mutual friend, Daniel, mentioned she and Connor had gotten serious, moved in together even. Then imploded spectacularly after 2 months when he caught her texting someone else late at night. The irony wasn't lost on me. I didn't feel vindicated or satisfied. I just felt distant from it, like hearing about characters in a show I used to watch but stopped caring about. That night, I deleted her number from my phone completely. I should have done it months earlier, but there was something final about it that I hadn't been ready for. The last thread cut. Now I was. I slept better that night than I had in years. No part of me waiting for a text, a call, a knock on the door. No part of me wondering or worrying or checking. Just silence. And in that silence, something that felt a lot like peace. The next morning, I made coffee and sat on my balcony watching the sunrise over the buildings. My phone stayed in my pocket, face down on the table. For the first time in a long time, I had absolutely nothing to check, no one to wonder about, no dots on maps to track. Just me, the morning, and a life that was completely my own again. And it felt perfect.